quantify.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's incredibly hard. Like, just to add one little last point, if you end up being like, all right, we got the perfect draft, what if it is the perfect draft, but you didn't perform on it perfectly well? So it looks bad, and then people never touch it again. So stuff like that happens quite frequently. We saw the Zillion pick from Counterlogic Gaming yesterday. Didn't work out for them because the Malzahar ended up just destroying it in team fights for elimination.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like, do they go back to that pick? Will we see that again?
Well, we'll see what the picks end up being right here. Counterlogic Gaming going for the standard red side bans here. All of them just lopped off the top of the tier list. No surprise that Kha'Zix is the first pick, and this is probably 80% of games right now where those 3 bans in a Kha'Zix first pick ends up being the start of the draft. CLG, of course, receiving that Fiora ban courtesy of Cloud9, immediately grabs the Maokai with the expected counter off the table, and Varus continues to be the highest priority bot laner here. Really haven't seen almost any Ziggs in North America, and Varus has definitely trumped Ashe and Jhin as the 80 carries du jour.
Yeah, offers the CC, the poke, the slow. Also, Grievous Wounds is something that's often overlooked because he has early access to it.
Right.
You can get the Executioner's Calling, but he does actually have a way to cut the heal early on. And he's quite strong with multiple builds.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's actually been nice to see him rise in priority over time. Of course, that'll be the champ picked up. The early grab on Nautilus. Cloud9 actually have picked that champion pretty quickly, it felt like. Not giving him as much time to wait on their last one, as they're simply going to mirror roles. They match the top lane and bot lane picks that CLG did. And now we get to see if CLG wants to match the Kha'Zix or if they want to go somewhere else. And actually, Olaf, the early grab.
Yep, matches the jungle for jungle there. Xmithie looked like he had that planned for a bit because he had Ghost already. You have to, I mean, it's so easy to actually just think ahead there and be like, all right, they took Kha'Zix first pick. We want to take the Varus and the Maokai. And then if they pick like a solo laner, then it actually puts you in a weird position. Because if you pick up Olaf, you're like, well, we don't get the counter pick, and they can start banning out. So trading is honestly what everybody seems to want to do right now, instead of throwing a bunch of wrenches in, because just make it so you get countered too.
Sure, yeah. Some teams are risk averse, some teams want to go for the trades. FlyQuest teams happy to do that, and to mixed success, as they did lose their earlier match. But looking at this one here, Malzahar off the table prompts the Karma ban out of the blue side. Of course, Counterlogic Gaming being on the red will get first pick in the second phase, and normally that means even if you mirror the roles, they're happy just to pinch down to one exact champion. Misfortune, well, it doesn't matter, of course, with Zyra banned away, so no easy, obvious first pick supports to come through.
Yeah, strange.
Syndra ban might prompt Ryze. No, sorry, Ryze is gone. Cassiopeia, maybe.
Yeah, it's strange that you would actually ban out Malzahar if you plan to first pick a support here as Counterlogic Gaming. So you think they might be heading a little bit more towards that mid lane. And so C9 are trying to think, all right, what is the ban that we should throw here? Is it the Cassiopeia? Is it the Orianna? The Corki? And that final one there, because Huhi's been loving that very recently.
Yeah, it's been a good champion for him. His statistics have backed it up pretty reasonably well, but not the pick here. So 2 mid lane, 2 support bans, and theoretically Karma and Mal's can be flexed mid as well. CLG to make their decision on their first champion. 10 seconds to go until this gets locked in.
Aurelion Sol? No? So they do go
support bans go Thresh, blind pick support. They're going to leave Huhi, the counter pick for the end. C9 got to lock in their full comp.
Which I think is rather smart from Counterlogic Gaming, because sometimes they've been picking Huhi rather early on so they can save some of their solo laners or their top laner or their jungler for later and hide things. But I think that in this case, up against Jensen, who's been performing like, he's honestly been performing like number 1 or 2 in mid lane so far, especially with the help of contracts. Get Huhi a matchup that is okay for him, because TL tried to do this against C9 yesterday, and even the counter matchups, Jensen was winning.
Absolutely agree. So Jensen, a scary opponent to go up against. It's also worth pointing out that I think a lot of CLG's successes have been on the backs of Huhi himself, actually. Normally a player that's been getting a lot of flack for performances, but as far as 2017 CLG is concerned, Huhi might just be their star performer, and with the Cassiopeia blind pick coming in, Huhi gets the chance to try to counterpick it. Pick the best champ he can to carry his squad.
Yeah, you would think it's Orianna just going from tier list if he does think there's something that is a little bit better into it. I know he plays the Echo, I know he plays the... Oh, what? No.
It's a bamboozle.
No.
I don't think it's good in a Cassio. Orianna, the more the more obvious one. You got it right, and the draft has been finalized here. Counterpicks in several roles, CLG getting priority on top lane and marksman, bot laner specifically.
Yep, and you were talking about the counterpick Orianna for Cassiopeia, and Huhi, he has actually been performing quite well. He's mechanically like showing off a little bit. We saw some QSSs that ended up as highlights, but it's the inconsistency, because he's not getting as much help as other mid laners are. early on in the game from their jungler, he's falling behind to the likes of somebody like Moon and High.
Yeah.
And against Contracts and Jensen, it might be a little more of the same here because they were focusing mid lane pretty much in all 3 of their match victories.
Absolutely agree. So last 20 seconds to pick and ban. No more swaps going to happen here. This is the expected lineup on all these squads. Uhi right now did not bring Cleanse when going up against Cassiopeia, Nautilus, and Ashe. We'll see if that changes when we do load into the game. But we're ready to go for our last match of the evening as CLG takes on Cloud9.
Yeah, and the Tahm Kench coming out for Smoothie. We talked about Cloud9 just pulling some random things out every now and then. The Taric, now the Tahm Kench, and when they had the first showing of Shen and Fizz. Like this team, it's hard to get a read on them in Champion Select, and this Tahm Kench was picked for the Thresh, right?
Yeah.
Somebody gets hooked, you just eat them up, run away. So trying to have a little bit more defense in this bottom lane. And it's not one of those high harass bottom lanes except for the AD carries. Now the AD carries are the ones who control the lane.
They're doing all the damage. They're the ones controlling the lane. The hooks and tongue lash is going to be things to care about here. But we are ready to go into game number 1 of this match right here. Counter Logic Gaming off a disappointing 1-2 start. Cloud9 3-0 to begin this match. And here we go, game 1. Dance party early on from Sneaky. Oh, it's over. Too late, guys.
That's actually some intense bass in the studio. That was...
Yeah.
Yep, your voice is not bassy enough.
No, that's true.
Unfortunate.
Welcome
All my
to
bass are not
Summer's
belong to you.
Rift.
And some days you just wish you had wasted your time a little bit and learned how to beatbox in high school.
I mean, I can mediocrely beatbox. I'm not saying I'm good at it.
That's true. Still, everybody's spreading out.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So when I look at the teams, decent amount of pick and run down on CLG, but it's looking more like team fight. I would expect Stixxay to go with the build that we've been seeing a lot with the Yomus, but I wouldn't hate it if you went for an attack speed builder, an Essence Reaver, or a Runans here because of the fact that it's an Orianna, Maokai, Olaf Thresh type of team fight. It's not so much in pick, a little bit more oriented towards wanting to blow somebody up or at least have a sustained team fight, whereas C9, still more team fight for them too, so we'll see some clashes here.
Yeah, the 5-5 very strong, and there's enough AoE that if Context gets the resets, he can really pop off here.
Yeah, I think mid lane is where you really want to focus here. Your top laners are going to do all right. They're both tanks. Your junglers are going to clear at a decent speed. Smithy, like this, starts on the Raptors, because Olaf can do them rather quickly. Also, you know how Olaf gets more attack speed the lower he is? Raptors just destroy you. So now his jungle clear is a little bit faster than it normally would be. He won't have the blue buff, though, so he'll rely a lot on auto attacks here.
Yeah. One thing that does help him is this actually gives slightly more total XP to an Olaf, because you get... Basically, the mechanic is, if you have a Hunter's Machete or something, you get bonus XP for every single thing you kill individually. If you're lower level in the camps, then all camps spawn at level 2. So killing a bunch of Raptors is a boatload of bonus XP you would never get by killing Raptors at any other time. So theoretically, Smithy, I actually don't know if it's the case, but might get level 3 off of just one extra camp, which normally would not happen after the 7.1 jungle changes.
He'll hit 3 after 3 camps, I believe.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't, right? After the nerfs and everything?
If you're doing wolves. Wolves are the ones that are...
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks.
You can see here, like, he could probably do...
Oh, this
like,
is easy. Yeah, he's easily going to be level 3.
Yeah. Hasn't used any potions, kept himself low for a fast clear, and you can see where Kha'Zix is. Kha'Zix just cleared out his 3rd camp. Now he's going towards his 4th here because it's a full clear on the left side. 2 isolated things, so Kha'Zix always wants to start there.
Yeah.
With that blue buff as well.
Yeah, you can contrast the XP values, though. Contracts is barely level 3 with 0 in the bar, and Smithy was like 80% of the way right before killing the blue buff. He's, you know, just half a camp of XP ahead via the rooting itself, and that's the track you guys are going to do for this one. Otherwise, they're just killing jungle monsters. I think Smithy, yeah, kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 camps, level 4. Feels good. Contracts trying to keep up, and of course, we know Olaf is a very fast jungler. So, how about that story? Look for the next one. Top lane tanks. Not going to be the story. They're not doing damage to each other.
Yeah.
Mid laners wave clearing, bot laners actually pretty much at equilibrium as well, but we know playmaking can happen with Thresh and Tahm Kench. But looking at the stats of Jensen versus Huhi, see what Jensen's done. He's crushing it. Number 1 in KDA.
I was like 45th? That's obviously League.
Yeah. 45th of all mid laners in the history of LCS.
I was like, oh, that flame. But his percent of team's damage, you can see how important they are to their teams. Because Stixxay hasn't really been doing too much in terms of the damage department, even playing some poke champions himself. But Huhi has played a decent amount of Corki, which will inflate his numbers a bit because of the poke that champion offers.
Sure.
Which is why it was banned away by Cloud9.
Yep, definitely a scary champion. Can do some good things. Smithy got to run into the jungle, see that those camps are all gone, which isn't a surprise, and doesn't get a whole lot done with his rip to the top side.
Yeah, but we were talking about where these junglers are most likely going to focus. I think it's the mid lane here. And if you're CLG, you have the possibility of going bottom with like a Lantern gank. But I don't feel like Cloud9 will want to gank bottom until about level 6 for Sneaky, because you don't have a support like a Malzahar or somebody who's going to deal a ton of damage that's going to actually lock somebody up. If Smoothie's like in point-blank range, it's a possibility, but it's hard to get on top of the Thresh as Tom Kench with the flays and the hooks.
Exactly. He's going to flay you off, he'll hook you and stun and walk away. I don't see how C9 makes a successful all-in happen in the bot lane, so you're right. Low attention there. Impact, great hook, actually. He does lose, I think, 1 CS for it, but he delays Darshan's recall, and since Darshan wants to... He already burned teleport and now wants to walk back to lane. That's already weird timing, but situation he's in.
That's actually incredibly strong.
I think he got forced a really bad recall and then wants to match the extra Doran's ring.
Back for another Doran's ring.
See, but the problem is, like, he shoved in an actual cannon wave. So the wave that's getting bounced back doesn't have a cannon in it, which means he's going to suicide into the turret, and he's lost already all the melee minions of the camp. Darshan chose to recall just to buy a Doran's ring, and he lost an entire wave of golden XP. I don't know why that's the right choice.
He got chunked to half HP, had no more charges of his flask available.
I mean, I guess.
And then Impact had the possibility of freezing. So he had to TP back in when I'm looking at it, because Impact had 4 caster minions, 4 melee minions.
So the first TP I get, you have to because you lost the lane, but the second recall, I feel like you objectively just lose 120 gold and half a level.
Yep.
For a Doran's ring.
He's getting destroyed by Impact already.
Yeah. Well, some of that was his own doing at this point, but...
yeah, taking those trades, like, people talk about these matchups a lot, tank matchups, and like how they go, but Nautilus will actually win all the tank matchups early on because of his wave clear. So he'll usually have more minions on you during trades. You'll also be able to just buffer a lot of your damage with the shield, whereas the others don't have the same. And we'll see here.
Flash for the slow. Ulti under turret means Darshan will be safe. Impact tanks to make sure, but yeah. Trade of flashes.
Yeah, Cloud9 did this yesterday as well. As soon as Impact hits level 6 and the other top laner's level 5, they go for a dive. Last time they pulled Jensen up to the top lane to try and attempt it as a 3-man. Down bottom, a little bit of damage on Smoothie.
Quite a bit actually as well. Hook into a lot of damage, pops the gray health, but he pops it a little bit late. Didn't take any more damage anyway, and that is a meaningful chunk on the Cloud9 support. CLG finally having a good lane in the duo, and look at this, Smithies are on the backside looking for some damage onto Smoothie, chunks him again. And looks like it's just going to be denying a bit of CS, and not even that much overall. Chance at a dive does get turned around, but that was scary. And Smithy, higher XP than Contracts, would generally win in a 3-on-3. Contracts looks for some jungle invades as a result. He knows the red buff timer, but he gets it slightly wrong, of course. Olaf started Raptors, and Contracts goes, wait a second. Red should be dead. Okay, there's red buff. There we go.
Yep. Like
and the map tells him, but still.
Yeah, like that's a little bit awkward, but yeah, Olaf on the bottom side of the map here. He's actually going to recall, because like you said, Contracts had started with blue.
That feels like a mistake from...
he runs away until he has Q.
Yeah, Q will kill it. He's fine.
Yep.
But this is weird by Smithy, to kind of dive onto that point. He knows he showed himself bot lane, and that a good jungler would already come topside to steal red. And then Smithy, instead of like thinking about that point, like he could have stolen Raptors and maybe stayed for the red buff or something.
Well, also he's saying, all right, the timing's off. He pinged his red buff as if, you know, Contracts is here, let's check it out. And it's just really off because you're losing mid lane in a counter matchup, so not even who he could like shove up and run to the red buff and be like, okay, let me check it. Let me make sure, let me ward this area. Afram was sneaking in the top.
Yeah.
Anything comes of it.
And so we're seeing these like, you're right, who he's down 11 CS right now. Again, a matchup, as you pointed out, he's supposed to be winning. He got the counter pick on this.
Oh, actually, Jensen's going to hand off the blue buff to himself.
Look at by Afram, but look at the setup right there. A nice roam by CLG, and Impact is flashless. He's got nowhere to go. Smithy pulled in. Pops goes to make sure, and the kill credit goes this time to Smithy. CLG, maybe some early mistakes from individual players, but that play was nice, well executed, and a first blood comes through.
Yep, and they'll be able to shove this up, and there's no TP for Impact, so he'll actually miss a wave, and that'll put Darshan back in the lead here.
All right, making the comeback now. CLG, 400 gold ahead against the favorites of the league right now. Contract wants to steal, gets it. Nicely done. Contract takes both buffs out of CLG's jungle by himself.
Smithy's just focused on ganking and trying to get his lanes ahead. Tried to make a gank happen bottom, lost his red. Ganks top, loses his blue for it. and Jensen actually simultaneously did their own blue, so that's an advantage for him in that mid lane, and he's already winning by about 15 CS so far.
But worth giving credit to Xmithy that thanks to the first blood, he's up in gold on the matchup, although, of course, Contract is taking part of the jungle away.
Like, I just want to talk about how ridiculous this is. Jensen's CS per minute is, I think it's above 10 still. In just overall, in every single game he's played, it's above 10. Regardless of what matchup, it's like 10.1. And he's already at that mark. He's already at 94 CS at 9 minutes.
Yep.
Like, this is actually ridiculous how well he's CSing.
He's actually just really been incredible, and I know it's going to take a long time for people to be convinced that he's better than Bjergsen because of the pedigree that Bjergsen's had and how much he's dominated here in North America, but Jensen really, and not quietly, but just pretty securely has been a consistent performer, and this might be the year that we say he's better than Bjergsen.
Well, I also think he's getting a ton of help from contracts. Look at how many wards are around the mid lane. Sure, Cloud9, 0-1 right now, and the first blood went over, but 3 control wards. So the whole team is helping Jensen. This is actually a very mid-focused team at the moment. Impact will hold his own, and the bot lane, they'll also do more of the same, but it's Jensen contracts that are setting up so much control of the mid where he gets to shove up. A lot of the times mid laners will be like, I have a winning matchup, like who he's saying, I win this matchup. I can't actually shove him up because I have no idea where this Kha'Zix is because they have pink wards / control wards on both sides of mid. So
You'll flash me, I die.
know. Exactly.
Even if I flash myself, it's just the slow's too much, Contracts will kill me, and yeah, sometimes you just aren't allowed to play the right way because of missing information.
And now they're trying to do that to Jensen. They've denied the vision on the bottom left side, or bottom right side, and now they're all trying to run through and go after him and get a priority on mid. Gank to the top.
Darshan pretty alone right now, knocked into the air, ulti in for our impact, and the shield is nice, gonna flash away, the chase in, but Chop comes in, Smoothie just grabs him out of midair, and that's a kill finally picked up for Cloud9. Pressure though, back on the mid lane for CLG, will not take the turret down.
Whew. You think he's away, but he like leaped into that frog's mouth. That was insane.
We got long
Catfish,
tongues.
I guess, whatever.
Beautifully done though, Smoothie. The roam play happened, and the answer that kill, C9 back into the lead, 400 up. Nicely played.
It's crazy to think about some of the Cloud9 lineup here, like Smoothie and Contracts. These are both guys that we had seen in Challenger, or even on like TDK for Smoothie, where he got auto-relegated into 10th place team.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen the improvement from him. Contracts, young talent, Ember, couldn't play in the playoffs of Challenger, and then, it was back and forth. It's like, all right, is this guy really that good? It turns out, give him a team like this to synergize with, everybody just becomes a well-oiled machine so far.
It looks pretty good. Cloud9 have definitely come together, and I know I got a chance to talk with Jack, Cloud9's owner, yesterday morning, actually, before their first match of the week, and he was just nothing but insanely happy about how Cloud9's shaping up as a squad, giving props to pretty much everyone on the roster. Contract gelling well with the team, right? Feels confident to voice his concern. But, you know, a great person to be around as well. Credited Sneaky for emotional leadership. We've seen and heard the sound bites from the game. Smoothie shot calling in team fights. This C9 roster, good individual players. Again, Jensen and Impact deserve all the credit in the world for that. But a well-oiled team as well, and it's the early 2017 hope for North America.
Yeah, in Cloud9, like, right now they do look like the best team in the league. But what was that?
That was a tree!
The bush attacked me!
Yeah, living jungle!
Welcome to plants. But Jack, a lot of what he's contributed to the team is just support staff, right? They got Reaper from Korea. They spend a lot of time in Korea. Hold on, Impact.
Speaking of Koreans, Impact might choose to flash the wall and will do so. Smithy and Darshan forcing him away. Still some action happening.
Yeah, but they've kept reinforcing this team with even more not just players on the roster, right? Jack had invested in Contracts almost a year ago at this point to just groom this rookie to eventually be on this team in the main squad. Also, they picked up a bot lane coach specifically for the bot lane. They picked up a substitute top laner for Impact to play against to groom Ray. And Reaper was a top lane carry before, so he also helps them out with you know, what to look for there. So it's incredible like how much they're actually just supporting the team with not just a roster like this, but a support staff.
Absolutely, and lo and behold, C9's dual lane the best in North America right now from early statistics from their first set of matches, and C9 the only undefeated team right now in the North American LCS, 3-0, hoping to make that 4. Small 800 gold lead here over Counter Logic Gaming, who have not had quite the good start, but one of the few rosters worldwide, CLG, keeping their team together, saying, you know, so you speak of infrastructure and growing as a squad, saying, yep, we'll keep these guys together. now, what, 3 splits in a row for CLG? Same players, and even who he was, again, as a sub mid laner a while ago, 60 the same on the CLG Challenger squad, and we'll see if that growth can continue. Right now, Counterlogic Gaming slow starters, but they can certainly turn it back on. We know they can. We've seen it before. And right now, it's just been a slow mid-game. No turrets down, just the one Drake solo killed by Contracts, just the one kill apiece.
Yep. You can see how much they're looking for things, though, on CLG's side. Because Aphromoo is just running into mid from different angles. Like, normally supports run in from the bot side. Well, that's all warded. So Aphromoo runs from the base to the top side of mid. There's no wards here for Jensen, so it's actually a really sneaky route. But they weren't able to pull the trigger because who he had to back didn't have an opportunity to actually make a play there. But he's roaming a ton. The point,
really looking for the plays.
I'd actually love to see his experience in comparison to Smoothie. So he's about half, maybe a quarter of a level down at this point. He's just missing so much by roaming around. So Smoothie will roam around, pick up some wards, and drop some wards down and get control of that bottom side river. And he just runs straight back. Whereas Afro's kind of taking a journey all the time.
Yep. And with the Moby Boots, it makes it less painful to do so. He gets to his location sooner, but even still has missed more than Smoothie has. And you haven't seen much more manifest from this game. The one gank apiece coming from supports, otherwise the boards equalized closely. Contracts, worth noting, has gone challenging Smite. Smithy did go for extra wards, though. So you expect CLG to have better vision overall as a team. And if they can turn that into more advantages, then good for them. Contracts a better duelist, and double Ocean Drake with a pickup. Cloud9 should have basically infinite resources. Contracts won't even take damage in the jungle. Smithy wants to stop this. Here comes a setup. Aphromoo around the wall.
They're looking for TP plays up top. They're both hiding. There you go.
There goes. Sean wants in, not going to be mirrored by Impact, which means the clean secure, and that's the trade that C9 willing to give. Impact, don't burn it, just take turret damage.
They do have inside track on mid for CLG because Jensen went to the bottom side, so now they just stop him from getting back to mid, push the wave,
out then.
Get a little bit of turret damage here.
You can see him try to cheat forward. Yeah, and Sneaky went to go clear the bot lane.
Watch for TP,
the arrow. And yeah, here's Impact in the back line. Tarshan tanks the arrow, stunned up, takes a lot of damage, has a lantern, and the shockwave buys even more time. Out the team goes a splash. Stixay, but here comes the knockup. They've caught the marksman in the bot lane. A stun into Smithy, and Stixay is going to be dropped for this one. Contracts, second kill of the game here. CLG do lose the fight, 1-0 Cloud9.
Yep, the siege was a bait there. They ended up having Impact go off to the side. Impact got to back and then just come right in. And Sneaky with the arrow to set it all up as well. He's been doing that a lot with these pick champions.
Definitely agree. Super insane accuracy out of Sneaky. The practice has definitely paid off. Cloud9, you can actually see almost every single night you see those players hop up on stream. They've been playing a lot of games this year, just putting in the reps, putting in the mechanical practice. And so far, again, so good. Cloud9, the work is paying off. And looks like first turret now in easy pickup for them as well. Stretching the gold lead from 2K to 3K. 3.2. Feels good.
Yep. I know Cloud9 are just very invested, both players and organization, in winning again and being #1. Yeah. Because it has been a while since Cloud9 has actually won a split. TSM, Counterlogic Gaming, Counterlogic Gaming, TSM, all the way back almost 2-3 years at this point. And you can see just the determination, even bringing over somebody like Impact or Jensen just to improve the roster. They have international results and domestic results now on their radar. Now it's just such a great team-coordinated play. They're flanking from multiple angles. The arrow came out and they had to stall a little bit instead of just ditch Darshan. And then Stixay ends up getting caught after having to blow his flash because of a flank from Impact.
Yep, and the TP play was right. You saw the play in the making too. C9 calm and controlled. Give away the Drake. Okay, good by CLG to grab it. Of course, the TP play is not wrong by any means, but Cloud9 says, don't worry, we'll get him on the backside, and plays it right. 3,000 gold game right here. Back to the jungle they go. Smoothie grabs a red buff level 11. Mirrors that of Contracts now. Mid lane pressure not turning into too terribly much. Smoothie just playing the defensive role. You can see him playing behind his teammates. He's the defensive tank, not the proactive one.
It looked like everybody was trying to collapse there for a second. Smithy off on the top side of mid, but there's actually a ward in that Raptor pit. I believe he just cleared it out. Yeah, he cleared it out with his sweeper. But he was spotted, so Cloud9 were actually a little keen to what was going to happen.
Nice stuff there. Look at the damage I put on a Contract. Nearly takes him down, the Shiver, but it's not quite enough. There's a quick shockwave, and flash force out of Huhi. Look at the knock come out from Impact, though, buying a lot of time as Afromu running out of health bars pretty fast. One more hit will do it. Sneaky getting the kill credit onto Afromu. Impact basically invincible. Darshan wants back in, though. Can they kill him off? Not just yet. Smoothie bringing Sneaky to safety. Running away once again, and a clean disengage. Maybe it's not, actually, as Smithy now in the front lines yet again. Ball is on. Jensen cannot catch Stixay. Well kited out, and that's a trade kill. One for the AD carry of Counter Logic Gaming. One more sniper.
Here, the point where something like a Deathfire touch would have been enough, as he gets away just barely. Huhi has to blow the flash, and that's the sneaky ultimate right there. Now Impact just basically kills Afromu with the assistance of Sneaky behind it. Sneaky does pick up the kill credit for it, and they have to kite backwards. So now they're just trying to keep Jensen out, who's off on the right side. They do have vision of him here, and you can see Stixay is kind of zoning, waiting for the arrow cooldown since he has the poke build, and trying to get damage onto Jensen. Well played there to actually dodge it. Misses the ultimate. It's a good dodge to turn away from the guys on CLG. And right here, just the tongue lash after the 3 stacks.
Yeah, CLG choosing to re-engage. But you saw both Stixay and Smithy saying, ooh, can we go in? Can we go in? And that actually got them killed because they would have been all right with it otherwise.
Yeah, went after Huhi there on the side. That's something that we didn't get to see because Smoothie just went off to the left. He actually had eaten Contracts, who returned to the fight.
After getting chunked incredibly low, got his way back in. 3-0-0 on Contracts, and the gold lead, a nice cool 4,000. As we know, one Drake apiece. Impact looking for a sapling. Gets exploded upon. Smithy working around as well. And CLG putting a lot of pressure down to this side of the map. Now Sneaky will be 1v1ing Darshan, but Darshan has teleport, so this top left side is ripe for a play from CLG.
Yeah, Sneaky doesn't have the arrow up just yet. He had used it during that replay, and it was long enough that now it just comes back up. So Sneaky backs off. Bottom side of the map, though, Cloud Drake coming up quite shortly. And so control of that is actually in C9's favor. And with this almost 5,000 gold lead that they have, the 4,000 gold lead, you'd think that they would be able to contest it and just make the TP plays that you're talking about, where Impact will shove out top, Darshan will shove out bottom, try to walk there and get a TP from Impact without having to waste his own on this Drake.
I think we can happen. CLG grouped back up near this Drake. Cloud gonna be on, and see if they can knock this one down. CLG definitely prioritizing this neutral objective. They've not found any turrets for themselves. The sieging has not worked out. C9 have always been there to defend those. They've been more willing to give away the Drakes than they are turrets. Pressure once again on the mid lane, and here we go. Smithy plus Darshan, 2v1 on Contracts, not isolated, so lower damage out of this, but the damage still coming through. An assist from Smoothie, and it's a 5v4. Snipe hits on a Smoothie. The root's going to be there, but not find anything else to do. And Smithy destroyed by Contracts in a 2v1.
Contracts is still hanging around. Doesn't think they'll be able to accomplish too much, even though he does have the ultimate. Just looks like a mid lane shove here in Jensen. Right positioning to be off on the left. They don't need him to do the Drake. At that point, it becomes a little bit gratuitous to have that many members. Impact trying to go for a flank here. Gets a hook, but doesn't actually get the bulk of the team.
Yeah, you found the tank, and there weren't any damage dealers left. Quick snipe on a Contracts lowers the health bar a bit more. Of course, Stixay going for this more sniper-oriented build. And his poke's good. He's got some kills, but yeah, not yet working out for Counter Logic Gaming. 5,000 the deficit.
Yeah, the more I see this build, the more I like it, because you can just ignore the tanks and actually just shoot through them with your arrows. And the Edge of Night, I think, is an underrated purchase, even on this patch before the buffs, for it being a 30-second instead of 45-second cooldown. If you're able to utilize that, that's an Ash arrow that doesn't hit you. That's, even like a gigantic ability like a Nautilus ultimate that you can just spell shield and you're fine.
Absolutely. And there's actually, depending on the situation, enough time to reactively Edge of Night a Nautilus ultimate. If you run for really, really fast and pop the Yomu's active right before, pretty sure you can reactively Edge of Night a Nautilus ulti, so even more reasons.
That's the press your one. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
The 1.5 second reactive channel. Like that's how you know that spell is slow.
But you can move while you're doing it too, so
right, exactly.
Great.
It's not a problem at all. See what they can get here. Aftermoon going towards Redemption with the Forbidden Idol.
Now also,
like the same.
Talking about items, just wanted to touch one more time on Edge of Night. It's got magic resistance on it. Everybody talks about like mobs, like, oh, I have to buy that against things like Cassiopeia. But if you're already going for like a lethality build, Edge of Night fits right in there, gives you a spell shield when you want it. Very low cooldown. Also, magic resistance up to boot. I mean, you could also stack that with a QSS and a Maw. We're getting crazy here. We could be like an 80 carry with like 130 magic resistance.
Sure. Get a Guardian Angel. Add it all together. 27 health left on that top lane turret. A Swift Breeze will knock that one down. We'll see if Cloud9 sends any resources there sometime in the next 2 minutes to kill that structure off, because right now mid lane has been the target of priority. It's been a slow game where it's just been slow looks towards neutral objectives and then a team fight ensues afterwards. But as far as direct, I was going to say direction, but as far as strategic, looking forwards, wow, my vocabulary sucks today.
That's all right. Mine always sucks, so not just today.
Well, you bring me down to your levels, Irene.
Whoa, whoa,
whoa!
I thought we were just gonna be miserable together.
No. I'm gonna make you miserable more and just pretend that I never wanted any of this.
First you compliment my skin, now you now you do this.
We're going through all the steps of a relationship in a short time. We've got 2 more games to show, by the way, at least one. I don't know what happens after divorce, but here we go. The hook in towards Jensen, catch them. Goodbye to the Snake Lady. Quick pick up there, beautifully played by Counter Logic Gaming.
And you can see topside Smoothie and Sneaky trying to get some extra damage on this turret. It's like, maybe I can kill it, maybe not. But there's a quick push in the bottom side. Darshan actually TPs to the top, and there's no TP for impact, so there's no chance of like a TP flank, but there is a chance there's just an Abyssal Void that may help out here if they do want to continue and actually fight. Woo.
But with Shockwave up, do you want an Abyssal Voyage anywhere near Huhi?
Nah.
You are giving him a bullseye, saying, please hit R on this timer.
Which makes it even more critical of where the position is, and there it is.
Shockwave onto 1 and 2. Smoothie and Impact, though, are the tanks. They're hard to kill. No blast code to get Sneaky away, but Smoothie might help. And suddenly Smithy's running out of HP, and he's got to be careful. This one stunned up, chomped up, and still they got the kill on an Impact 1 for 0, and they're going to keep chasing with this axe.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not too much more to get there, but if they were able to actually pick up more on Counter Logic Gaming side, that might have been a Baron. They fought without Jensen up, so Cloud9, honestly, really awkward position to be in where they had Sneaky pushing up mid a little bit far, and the rest of the team was trying to fight, I believe, Darshan on the top. So, honestly, a big misplay there from C9 to even lose a person.
Yeah, they certainly didn't have any control of the map right now, but we can watch the replay again and see the setup for it. Looks like Darshan flanking a bit on the left side.
Yeah, Hawkshot comes out there, but ooh.
Oh, that's pretty slick.
Gets him right in there, then they put the ball on top of him. So, big chunk on the contracts and also Smoothie.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It was a 3-man Shockwave.
Yeah, really well played there, that combination. Like, we were talking about the team fight right after Champion Select and around the level 1s, where both these teams want to have those team fights. They want to have those 5-on-5 ones. Yeah. Skirmishes are all right for both, depending on who's involved, but it's really those 5-on-5s where the Shockwave's really going to matter. The damage that comes out from Jensen's really going to matter there, too. And that's why I thought this was going to be so mid-lane focused in terms of ganks early. Yeah. Because these are the 2 guys that can really just win you the game from the get-go if you get them ahead of the other guys substantially.
Totally agree. And, of course, Counter Logic Gaming, 5-on-5s are good. 5-on-4s even better, of course. And finding some of that afternoon. Not going to go for the big play, and I think that's smart not to pull the trigger on that. But now sieging mid lane tier 2, and we got to start talking about CLG success a little bit more. They're down in gold, but they're playing like that's not the case here. Darshan, to be honest, came out of his laning phase with equal ganks from both sides and up CS on Impact, better KDA than Impact on a team that's losing in gold. Darshan actually having some good games when that wasn't happening before in this split. This is like Echo Fox the game, where suddenly they're turning things around and playing a lot better.
Echo Fox the game. Oh. But to echo your point, Darshan was rather invisible during his first week, and now he's actually one of the better performers on the team coming into week 2. Right. Even in their previous series, he was doing a lot of work, being multiple levels up on something like Maokai, and it was the bottom lane that was slacking a little bit for CLG.
Smithy. But you talk about the bot lane slacking a little bit. We're seeing better performances here. 6th afternoon, we're down in minions in the landing phase, which is to be expected against players the caliber of Sneaky and Smoothie. But as far as mid-game team fights are concerned, you've got Stixay, 5 out of 6 kill participation, most kills in the squad. Sniper Varus doing pretty well. Ooh, snipe on an Afro, the best target it could have been. Ooh, 3-man Shockwave and a Varus ulti and a lot of damage on a Smoothie. Pops his shield and gets the redemption. Now the front lines are there. Smoothie can't quite lose his life, though. Counter Logic Gaming don't have the damage. Stun only hits Darshan. He tanks it up just fine. The rest of the team turned their backs on Jensen. CLG control over mid.
Yeah, exactly. So they have the inner track. And this looks like C9 are saying, all right, let's do the Baron. Let's try to pull them off of our tier 2.
But they're on top of wards. They're going to lose mid tier 2 for sure. And even the Baron's not going to look clean.
Yeah. Huhi's going to show up a little bit later here. His ultimate is already half off of cooldown, so it's coming back up quite quickly.
This seems desperate by C9.
This just seems like a bait to try and get them off of the tier 2. I don't know how much they're really going to want to commit to this, and yeah, they pull off right now.
Darshan, no ulti, makes him less tanky. Another snipe onto the back line. Huhi losing a bit of HP. Impact lower and lower, but gets another shield once again. Has to flash away, and Counterlogic Gaming forcing him out. Smoothie at 50 health. One snipe would kill him. Impact Darshan once again trading blows. The hook saved by Smoothie, but the snipe gets them both. He pops out of his belly and he kills him anyway. Beautifully shot by Stixay. 2 for 0.
And now CLG will want to go towards that mid lane. The ultimate from Huhi is back up, so he has the shockwave available. They have a minion wave that's already pushed up a decent amount. They could try to make a pick here if something like a hook lands.
Well, they've got to respect Jensen, whose Petrifying Gaze is available, but one more shot will do it, and Counterlogic Gaming finally ties up the turret score and brings the gold back within 2,000.
Yeah, that was an awkward call from Cloud9. That seemed
was.
like desperation, like you said, to try and get them off that tier 2 in mid, because they had made a macro mistake of actually being on the left side of the map when they had their tier 2 vulnerable. They're like, what do we do? Let's start up the Baron, try to pull them in towards us. They didn't really have the damage to do Baron, and they didn't really have the damage or HP to take this fight here. That was insane. That was a piercing arrow. That was a 2 birds, 1 stone.
Literally, well, two tanks, 1 arrow, and now Darshan walks into the fact that Baron's being taken, and it does go down to contract, so on the backside. Cloud9 with a great Baron call, picked that one up. It's a forced retreat out of CLG. This really gets eaten, or eats up Impact and brings him back out. What a great Baron call, though. Missed the setup, but beautifully done. CLG looking to find a bit more. Shockwave is up. The flash hook. Impact walks into it. Smartly done here. Darshan now in the front line, but low on health. Redemption. This should be CLG's, and it heals them back up. Now the axe gonna land, but once again the tank's not quite getting caught out. Oh, he gets Smoothie, and the shield, the stun back out from Jensen. It's a trade kill. Mid laner goes down. Impact gonna lose his life, but look at the damage, and Darshan burns him down, to the summoner heal is late from Stixay. 2 for 2 overall, though. Tank on each side, and 1 mid, 1 support dead.
Whew. Crazy turnaround there. Jensen using the ultimate actually got a really good stun there, and a ton of damage came out afterwards, but Counterlogic Gaming end up with an even trade, and that's good for them. They're getting some of those putting that gold back, is pushing forward a little bit on that map, taking some board control of that left side. And this is just so dangerous for Cloud9 because CLG, Darshan has the ball on him now. The ultimate's up from Uhi. The shockwave, good flash ramp from Uhi. He actually flashed onto the miasma. So if he had actually taken an extra step forward and tried to make that move happen, wouldn't have been able to because he would have been grounded. So it's the right time for it.
That hook though on Uhi.
Yeah. Huhi gets the combo, the shockwave off right then, and Jensen managed to turn around there, and a lot of damage comes out. They almost lose contracts on top of it, too.
A very close fight right here, but look at the big contributors here in this game. 5, 2, and 4 on Stixay. He's supposed to be one of the best bot laners in North America, finally looking like it here. 0-1 on 7 on Aftermoon. Also, I gotta say, pretty good performance here on this Thresh as well. C9 mostly a team effort. Impact has been dying a lot, but it's usually been for the team. I can't really fault him for the deaths as much, as the fights have been close. But look at this Cloud9 barreling through the map now. Mid lane outer already gone. Looking for mid lane tier 2, and this time CLG here to defend. But they've brought the gold lead back to almost 5,000. C9 never letting up in this game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is also just their lanes. You can see the CS between Jensen and Huhi about 50 up. Sneaky also about 50 up for himself in these lanes.
And that is relevant.
They've been doing quite well here, so.
That is incredibly relevant. Just
Jensen, I think like his CS per minute right now currently is like tied for #1 in the world.
It's gotta be.
At 10.1. I believe Teddy is the other person who's tied with him. So internationally, he's up there. He's either #1 or tied for first. So his CS per minute, and that's something that's very relevant because that's saying no matter what champion I'm on, counter pick matchup, Cassiopeia, Orianna, doesn't matter. He's even played things like Echo, Fizz, right?
Don't lane well.
How?
Typically.
Right? So just the consistency that we are seeing out of Jensen, it's not the champion that he's on, it's the player, and it's also the way the team is playing around him that allows him to have that type of scoreline so consistently.
Definitely got to agree. The Cloud9 formula has looked good. They've lost very few individual games so far, and you can go back and look at them to see what the issues may be, but every time you look back to the coaches and you fix them for next week, and suddenly any research you made doesn't work anymore.
That's true. And in closing out the CS point, one of the weaknesses that Cloud9 had last split was everything was funneled into Jensen, and Sneaky got almost nothing.
Right.
He would have to be on side lanes kind of picking up the scraps, and then Impact was just low econ and great for the team there. Sneaky's actually really high in the CS per minute as well. He's in that top 10, top 5, I would actually say. Just right off the top of my head, I think that this is a good strength for them because they're actually picking up the farm. They're being really great at laning. Sneaky lane phase. Looks like Kane came over. It's like, I'm going to fix this.
Yeah.
Actually wasn't bad before, all memes aside.
Yeah. Pretty good. Let's see what else we can find for this one. As we're back in the sieging game, although Baron buff is timed out and it looks like it's going to slow things, but yeah, I mean, the thing is we've got at least one more game to cover as well. We've been spending most of it just talking about how Cloud9 have been a good team, and it's not like it's the wrong story because Cloud9 are they've just been in control. Like it's the thing is it's been a slightly lower action game, and we know C9 have looked very sharp right here. And
you're naturally going to talk about the winning team a little more, but CLG had
here's
wards all over, so they're looking for Jensen.
He's going to find Jensen, but gets chomped out by Smoothie, and nothing to be seen here. Doesn't want to take the lantern. He's going to bait it with a shockwave, but it's only on the tanks. Contracts on the wing. Redemption in for C9. Keeps him healthy. Nice big stun. Xmithie going to have to run around and run out of health. One more shot will do it. Guardian Angel's down, and Darshan is next up in the chopping block. He goes down, and Xmithie is going to be next. A quick 2 for 0. Cloud9 able to kite it out so cleanly. Smoothie never lets any engage work.
Support that's going to poke you out of lane and make you miserable. Looking for a play on Stixxay!
Hook onto Stixxay, down he goes. Contracts the kill credit, but it was all the work of Impact making it happen. That flash play was nice, and there's more to take here. Mid lane tier 2's down. Inhibitor next up on the field, and that's going to be reduced to rubble in 3 seconds flat. And here goes the inhibitor itself. Now, will they go for more? 20 seconds of the respawn. Cloud9 looking to close it out right now.
Impact will tank. This is what you do with those top lane tanks. Impact will tank. They'll try to get that minion up a little bit further because he barely takes any damage here, but they're taking so much from the other guys, too. There's his GA. They're going to try to end the game right here.
Shockwave on a Smoothie means nothing. Arrow going to miss a little bit wide, but they're going to run down this turret, and Afro is going to drop here. This time it's the Nexus, and C9 can't be stopped. Game 1, Cloud9 one step away from the perfect first 2 weeks.
That's an insane call as well. You talk about Cloud9, you go back to the days of when they lost high. Who's the shot caller? And now Meteos out of the lineup. Who's the shot caller? Smoothie, the whole team stepping up. Everybody is contributing. We've heard them, like you said, on mic checks where everybody is talking. Even Impact is calling like his shield cooldown in 2 seconds. Stuff like that. It's absolutely beautiful, and you're seeing that play off in team fights, but you're also seeing it in those macro plays where they are doing a great job of just cleanly making the game end at like 36 minutes. Like, we got 2 kills. Don't need to worry about the wave clear. We have enough beefiness, tankiness. 1 turret, 2 turret, 3 turret, inhibitor, they're done.
Yep, and Cloud9 look good overall. They're winning their lanes by and large. You're seeing Contracts still do good things repeatedly. His very first match against Svenskeren played better than him, and match after match after match. I can't think of a player on the C9 roster who is a liability. Every single one of them seems to match up well against their individual opponents. Their shot calling looks crisp enough at the very least. We'll see as time goes on what other tests there may be for this squad. Right? They played week 1 TSM. TSM looks better than they did before. Echo Fox now actually starting to get some things together. Like there's these different tests out there that you've got to actually figure out. Who does stack up well against Cloud9. But so far, the jury has come back saying C9 unanimously looking very, very good. And so far, no one's tested them well enough.
Yeah, and that's the question is who's going to test them? Because they've already gone through like TSM at the beginning of the split. And so if you take the current state of Cloud9 and you pair them up against every single team, like maybe they'll drop a game. Maybe inconsistency will make them drop 2.
Sure.
But I think we're starting to get to the point where if they go 4-0, you're like, all right, how far is this team going?
Yeah,
we've seen 17-1 seasons.
Right. How many matches it take until there's a 1 in that loss column? And it might be the entire split. You never know. But we're going to take out some replays real quick. 35 minutes, 3 for 1 in favor of Cloud9. And you can see that the Maokai flank just means nothing against Tom Cash.
Yeah, this looked like it was going to be a smart play here from Darshan, but Smoothie's honestly just around his carries and is absolutely correct there. Eats Jensen, and then everybody is able to collapse. Smoothie is able to tank the Shockwave, and then Impact with the triple knock up there, going straight through everybody. And Smithy, ultimate's a little late there because he's up in the air after the Nautilus ulti. So it takes him a while before he gets back down on the ground. And this is just how they ended. They got 2 picks. They killed both tanks, and they just rush straight down. And then this is it right here. They make the play onto Stixxay. Stixxay has flash and heal available for himself. And they just try to peel him off with a hook. And now it's Huhi for wave clear, and it's Afro move for moral support, but it doesn't end up working out.
Yeah, and Yeah, it was a good game by C9. And the thing is, if you start diving into the team compositions, you look at what CLG wants to do. They've got Shockwave, they've got Olaf, and they've got Varus for actual team fight damage. If you don't get anything done at the very beginning, you can DPS down the Olaf, right? You can run him down. Orianna drops off after the Shockwave, and then Varus is going for the sniper build. He's not doing Hurricane Essence Reaver into Infinity Edge, so the damage output is wildly different between these compositions. If no one gets one shot, Kha'Zix, Cassiopeia, and Ashe all outperform their opposite members in teamfight DPS. Unsurprisingly, no one got one shot. C9 played around the ball well, and then the rest of the teamfight is a formality when you pull out the one guy getting Varus ulted or the one guy getting Maokai flanked.
And I think that this is just Cloud9 setting themselves up for success and also just being, in some lanes, superior players. Because if you're comfortable going like, we're going to blind pick Cassiopeia, we know you'll pick Orianna, and Jensen's going to be fine. He's going to have a CS lead, not even get a whole bunch of ganks. We'll give him some vision control. We'll fight back and forth for it. We know he'll come out on top with a gold lead, which is something that is just so valuable to have in a mid laner where you're like, regardless of matchup, he's going to do well and he's going to be consistent with that 10 CS per minute pretty much no matter what. And then I think like Smoothie is kind of going under the radar here because his champion pool is just so flexible right now. He's playing the meta things. He's playing the Tahm Kench. He's playing the Taric. So they're able to just last pick. They're like, go ahead, waste your support bans. That's fine. We're going to play Tahm Kench into Thresh. That's fine.
He's just as effective on whatever champion you make him play. You can play reverse draft, and he will still be one of the best performing supports in North America. It's been a good game so far. Cloud9 up 1-0. We'll see if CLG can even up score when we come back with game 2. We'll be right back.
Jensen?
My funnel was down.
You literally died first blood to Brand bot.
I mean,
Brand is broken, dude.
he did play pretty well.
This is not a good sign.
Jensen cannot catch Stixxay, well kited out, and that's a trade kill. One for the AD carry of Counter Logic Gaming. One more sniper double here for the bot lane as Stixxay playing it beautifully.
Kill not. Guys, I need help. Lantern. We are not. I shot the
Smoothie at 50 health. One snipe would kill him. Impact Darshan once again trading blows. The hook saved by Smoothie, but the snipe gets them both. He pops out of his belly and he kills him anyway.
We can fight.
Can we?
Yeah, whatever. I'm good. We can fight. Maokai first. Slow.
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah, Maokai. I block your shield. Olaf.
Being pushed.
Nice, yeah.